Let's talk about why we need to start saving today. In this section, we will discuss the difference between simple and compound interest and how that difference can help us reach our retirement goals. Let's look at two people saving for retirement. For simplicity's sake, let's call them Person A and Person B. Person A starts at the age of 25, putting $3,000 a year away into a retirement account. They do this for 10 years, from age 25 to 35, so they've invested $30,000 total. They don't invest any more money, but they just let the money work for them, earning an average of 8% per year. When they decide to retire at the age of 65, they will have $472,000 and still would have only invested the initial $30,000. Now let's look at Person B. They start saving at the age of 35, so only 10 years later than Person A, and they put $3,000 in a retirement account every year until they retire 30 years later at the age of 65. So over those 30 years, they've invested $90,000, again earning the same 8% that Person A was earning. When they retire, they will have a total of $367,000. So even though Person B saved for 20 years longer and invested 3 times as much money as Person A, they have around $100,000 less for their retirement. If we just looked at the amount invested, we would logically think that Person B should have more money at retirement because they invested so much more, but that is clearly not the case. So let's explore what causes the difference to occur. Let's talk about interest and a couple different types of interest. Interest is what someone pays us to use our money. We will use some numbers to demonstrate the two different types of interest, compound and simple interest. Let's say someone invests $1,000 for a period of 10 years and is compensated with 8% for giving their money to someone. If they agree to pay simple interest, we will be paid every $80 every year that they have our money, basically 1,000 times 0.08. So at the end of 10 years, we should have received $800 in interest payments. Let's now look at the compound interest. If we were paid compound interest, we would be paid 8% on our money, but the yearly interest would be kept in the account and the interest would be paid on the new total. So at the end of the year, we would have $1,080 in our account. The $1,000 we originally gave them plus the $80 they paid us in interest. Since they now have $1,080 of our money, they will pay us $86 at the end of year 2. They are paying us interest on the interest they already paid us plus the initial amount. The difference in the amount that we have at the end is the interest we earned on the interest that we already received. Now that we've talked about the difference between compound and simple interest, let's look at compound interest and how it can help us save for retirement. If we invest $1 into a retirement account and let it compound for 30 years, it will be worth $10 by retirement. If we have that same dollar in an account for 20 years, it will grow to only $4.50. We can see the longer that we have our money invested, the larger it should grow and help us to reach our retirement goals. Now let's go back and look at our two friends again. Person A has put $30,000 into their account and let it sit there until they were ready to retire. This means that the first dollar that they put into the account at 25 has been there for 40 years when they retire, and that the last dollar that they put in at 35 has still been in there for 30 years. That's a lot of time to let that money earn interest and interest on interest and so on. Now let's look at Person B. The first dollar that they put into their account was there for 30 years, but the last dollar that they put in had only been in there for a year. So you can see that they have considerably less time for that money to earn interest, much less compound. This is why it is so important to start saving today versus tomorrow, no matter what our age is. The sooner we get our money earning interest, the more time we'll have to grow by earning interest on the interest. In summary, we know what we should take away from this section. Due to compound interest and the time value of money, every dollar that we save today will be more valuable than the dollar we save tomorrow. So that means that the cheapest day to start saving for retirement is today. So let's get started.